Okay, we're going to be making an eggs Benedict casserole. Okay, stay with me for a minute. Love eggs Benedict, absolutely love it, but to make it correctly, you have to spend a lot of time. You have about 15 different pots on the stove, and you really can only batch out a few at a time. So if you've got a big group coming, or if you've got a holiday happening, it's really not a practical dish to think you're going to have on the menu. So I took all the elements that are in eggs Benedict, and I thought, how can we get those core flavors and kind of get them all together so that it's easier to batch out so you can feed your group all at once. So here's what I came up with. Super, super simple, right? Stay with me. We're going to layer the flavors that are typically in the classic dish, and we're going to do it in a casserole form. So I've got a 9 by 13 casserole dish, and all I did was butter it real well. And don't skimp on the butter, okay? This is not a diet dish. Don't try to make it a diet dish. This is one of those things where, you need the flavors. All right. This is Canadian bacon, which is pretty classic. You find that in the traditional dish. And you know what I'm going to do? Hang on just a second. I'm going to grab a knife and my cutting board. And I am going to trim this one a little bit just to fit him in here. Okay. Now, regular English muffins, if you had put them in here whole, I think the texture would have been, kind of unpleasant. So we're taking 6 of them, and I diced them up. And we're going to use about, I think we'll go ahead and do the whole thing. Just layer them in there on top of that Canadian bacon. So I've got half the package of Canadian bacon still over here. This is what's going to give us our layers. And I'm also going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm not going to let it soak as long as you would. That's the other thing about this, since it's a casserole, and you're talking about, well, I originally was thinking about doing it for a holiday or a special occasion. I was thinking of what could be done ahead of time. And so this, it actually would be better if you made it the night before, put everything together, covered it up, threw it in the refrigerator. Yeah, just bake it off the next morning. See? That gets even better. Cut this guy. And here we go. All right, so there's our Canadian bacon layer. Now, of course, a regular eggs Benedict has poached eggs, and I kind of would like to think of being able to put the casserole together to a certain point and then baking eggs on top of it so that you do get the runny yolk. I haven't been able to make that kind of work out real well yet. This is actually really good. So I've got 8 eggs and 2 cups of whole milk. And again, you're kind of after some richness here. You want the richness to balance the other flavors that are going to be in here. So don't go with skim milk. Don't go with half and half either. That's a little too much. And then this, about half of the egg mixture. Actually, if you have a bigger mixing bowl, you could do this step at the beginning. Mine's too small. It would just kind of make a mess. All right, 4 green onions. And if you don't work with green onions very much, or they're also called scallions, they're also called spring onions, then you want to make sure that you trim them, but keep the green tops just as you do the white bottoms. I think it's delicious. Tastes similar to chives, a little bit stronger. There's a hint in there of something a little bit garlicky, but not overpowering. All right, and our seasonings, a little bit of onion powder, black pepper, and kosher salt, right? So there we go. And I hear my youngest coming up and down the steps. They're hungry. They know Mama's cooking. So like I said, if you have a bigger mixing bowl, throw all the green onions and seasonings in there at the first. You don't have to wait. And then this just goes right over the top. And I've got my oven back here set to 350 degrees. It's like the universal baking temperature for almost everything. If you're ever in doubt on what temperature to cook something at, go with 350, because you've got a pretty good chance that's going to be right. Okay, just making sure everybody's in here and everybody's all happy. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to grab some foil. I need to get some of those casserole. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I need to get some of those casserole dishes that have the oven-proof tops. The foil works really well. You just want to kind of seal your edges. Just like that. Okay. I am going to throw this in the oven for 350. I was getting 30 minutes and 350 backwards. 30 minutes, 350 degrees. And while this is in the oven, I'm actually gonna make some Hollandaise sauce, because you know with Eggs Benedict, you have to finish something with Hollandaise, right? All right, so I'll see you back here in 30 minutes. All right, so our casserole had 30 minutes in the oven. So we're gonna take a look and see what we got. I love that you can throw this together ahead of time. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. Woo! Look at that. All right, so I made some Hollandaise while that was baking, and I'll do a video and show you how to make Hollandaise. That's no big deal. And you know what? I think if I'd given it a little longer to soak, probably would have been a little bit better. I get in a hurry. All right, so let's see if I can get under here. I know there's a piece of bacon. Yeah. All right, check this out. Tell me you wouldn't love whoever gave you this on a holiday or any other day. Okay, so just to make it pretty, let's give it a little shot of paprika. And then, of course, you can't have any kind of Eggs Benedict anything unless you've got the Hollandaise. And it depends on how much you like. I actually, you know, could be perfectly happy with a spoon and a little pitcher. But just in case that's not your thing. And then just make it pretty. Oh, I'm gonna get a fork. Because I can never remember that I'm gonna be tasting something at the end of the video, and I never remember to get my fork. All right. Let's see. Outside edge of the casserole is always the best part, because that's where you get a little bit of the crunchy stuff, right? And that's gonna be hot. That's actually an incredible way to capture the majority of the feel of Eggs Benedict, but without having all the work and without having most of the mess. So that's win-win right there. Okay, so if you like this recipe, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have a question, ask it in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it as soon as possible. Follow me on Facebook, please, and Pinterest and Instagram. And before too long, I'm going to have an active Patreon account. I'm working on getting that set up this week. So if I've been of help to you whatsoever in the 300 some videos that I've posted so far, hop on over there and show me a little love on Patreon. That'd be awesome. All right, in the meantime, try this one for yourself. I think you're going to love it.